answering your questions about retirement. It's Money Talk with Michael Eastham.
Does it still make sense to do a Roth conversion to fill our current tax bracket?
First thing I want to say about Roth conversions is they're not for everyone. A lot of times I hear people that come into my office or they call me on the phone and they say, hey, I've got an IRA, I need to convert it to a Roth. And the reason they say that is because they understand some of the basic characteristics of a Roth. And that is, once you have money in a Roth, it'll grow tax deferred. And if you take it out and play by the rules, then that money is going to be tax-free to you. And then when you pass away, it'll go on to your beneficiaries tax-free. So those sound like some pretty good benefits. But the thing is, if you have a traditional IRA and you convert it to a Roth, well, there's a big issue that has to come in between. And that is you have to pay Uncle Sam. And it's very important for you to understand how much you've got to pay to Uncle Sam to determine whether or not you're comfortable doing it. Like, for example, I had a situation not too long ago where somebody came in and made a statement, hey, I want to convert my IRA to a Roth. And I said, well, hold on, let's do the math. Turned out that in order to do that, they'd have to write a check to the IRS for $100,000. And once you understand that writing a check is something that you have to do first before you benefit from the Roth account, suddenly it's not so appealing. So you have to take some things into consideration. Number one, what's the purpose of converting to a Roth? Do you need the income in the next several years? Because if you do, then a Roth conversion may not be the best thing for you. A Roth conversion could be beneficial if you might never need that money, or if you don't expect to use the money in the Roth for 10 to 15 years down the road. So think about that for a minute. It's very critical to consider when you're going to need that money in order to determine whether a Roth conversion is good for you. Because if you have to pay $100,000 in taxes to the IRS, that means that in order for you to even start to benefit from the tax-free growth inside of a Roth, you have to recoup those taxes. And that could take 7 to 10, maybe even longer years in order to get to that place. The other thing has to do with where are the taxes coming from. Ideally, you want to use after-tax money, like money through your savings, to pay that tax bill. And then always remember that the longer horizon favors a Roth account. If you don't need the money today, you don't need the money for the next 10 years then or beyond, perhaps a Roth conversion could be a good tool for you. Or if you don't think you're ever going to use that money and you're planning to send that to the kids through your beneficiaries, then maybe a Roth could be a good thing. But make sure you understand all of the ins and outs of how do you fill the tax bracket. For example, if you fill a tax bracket, let's say you're in the 22% tax bracket. Well, you might bump up to the 24% tax bracket, which doesn't seem much higher. But the problem is around that same area is where the IRMAA tax comes in. In other words, your Medicare premiums could increase significantly if you go above that level. So managing the tax brackets becomes very important when you're considering a Roth conversion as well. Hope this was helpful. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Subscribe to Money Talk so that you can catch every single episode coming up. Thanks so much.